Well, thank you very much for attending this afternoon. To our friends in the United Arab Emirates from Tribe and Masdar, I'm Christopher Pyne. I'm the chairman of the Australia UAE Business Council and former minister in the previous government for defence, and before that in both the Turnbull and Abbott governments, and now in retirement undertaking this particular role. Delighted to be joined by His Excellency Abdulla Subousi, who represents the United Arab Emirates here in Australia, Ed Nicholas and Andrew Smith from Tribe, and Ali May Saffron from the Advisory Board of the Council. Thank you very much for being in attendance. It's a very exciting moment. Today is the launch of the Australia UAE Business Council, which was a mere twinkle in the eye of the Ambassador and I earlier this year. Amazing how quickly we have come. And Tribe and Masdar have the distinction of being the first moment of putting some ink to contracts, to pen, to paper, to say that we are actively engaging in economic activity, business activity here in Australia and back into the UAE. So we are to have a signing ceremony for that relationship between Tribe and Masdar, and I'm going to ask His Excellency Abdulla Subousi to say a few words about that, and then we'll have Masdar and Tribe say a few words and then sign our certificates, and then we'll go into our official launch with the Australian Prime Minister and the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs from the UAE, and we will officially have begun, despite the fact that we've already done a great deal. So, His Excellency.
So it's a pleasure and it's an honor to be with all of you. This is an exciting day indeed, Christopher. Thank you so much for your leadership, and on behalf of both Australia and the UAE, with I think the Council will do a great job advancing our bilateral relations, and also tackling a lot of the obstacles, God forbid, in the relationship between the two countries. This, what Masdar is about, I made the point before getting officially appointed or accredited here in Australia to visit actually with Masdar and with my good friend Mohamed, and to talk about their future plans. And I think this is one of the ideas that you will champion, and I'm so glad, I'm so honored that this worked, and everything came through, and of course with the project in Perth, which was very exciting, and now New South Wales, and I hope to see more and more cooperation between both sides, because we're very proud of Masdar. We and we're honored to see Tribe come together in this joint venture. It's going to cement the fact that we are Australia's largest trading partner in the whole Middle East and North Africa, and open, I hope, new areas where we can collaborate more. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. And we're very excited about the opportunities as they presented too between Australia and the UAE. And we're going to ask Masdar, Mohamed Jameel Ramahi, who is the Masdar CEO, to perhaps talk a little bit about what they're starting today. So, look forward to hearing from Masdar.
Thank you, Mr. Pyne, and Your Excellency, my dear friend, our Ambassador, for your warm words and introduction, and good morning from Masdar City here in Abu Dhabi. We at Masdar are extremely delighted to be participating in today's inauguration of the Australian United Arab Emirates Business Council. Of course, alongside our partner Tribe Infrastructure Group. Masdar sees tremendous potential for growth in the already strong business and trade relationship between our two countries. And we are pleased to be contributing to these strengthening ties in the field of sustainable technologies, both as a partner of Tribe and a founding member of the new council. At Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week this January, Masdar announced its entry with Tribe into Australia's energy from waste sector via stake in the East Rockingham Energy from Waste plant currently under construction in Perth. And just last month, we took a second step in Australia after joining again with our partner Tribe, the Marvel Energy from Waste project in the state of Victoria as an equity partner. Today, as we celebrate the formal launch of the new Australia UAE Business Council, we are pleased to announce that our two companies are to establish a joint venture headquarters in Sydney to pursue further energy from waste project in the country. This will allow us to accelerate our efforts to address the pressing need for sustainable waste management solution in Australia, where an estimated 27 million tons of solid waste go to landfill each year. Over the past 15 years, Masdar has been committed to developing and deploying commercially viable solutions in renewable energy, sustainable urban development, and clean technologies to address the sustainability challenges of our country, the United Arab Emirates, but for our region and definitely for the international markets. As a global renewable energy leader active in more than 30 countries, we are eager to share the knowledge and experience we have gained with our Australian partners. Clearly, as a regional economic and industrial hub, Australia offers considerable scope for further growth and diversification of our portfolio in energy from waste and indeed other sustainable technologies. As Prime Minister Scott Morrison said at G20 summit hosted by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, sustainable development is an ongoing, long-term and collective responsibility. We at Masdar are committed to working with our partner Tribe and our associates at the Australia UAE Business Council to pursue opportunities for mutual business growth and to support the delivery of Australia's sustainable technology roadmap. In closing, I would like to thank Peter and the team at Tribe Infrastructure Group for their support in establishing our joint venture and to congratulate the Honourable Christopher Pyne and again my friend Mr Badr Al-Ulama, the co-chairs of the Australia UAE Business Council on today's inauguration. And finally, I would like to thank our ambassador and our embassy in Australia for supporting our activities in the country. And I do look forward, my friend, our ambassador and our friend Mr Pyne in visiting Australia shortly in the near future. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you too. And we are looking forward to being able to travel again as well. Australians are great travellers, of course, because we're at the bottom of the world, so we always feel the need to get on planes and go to places, and there's no better place to visit than the United Arab Emirates in the Middle East, especially because of our very strong connections between Australia and the UAE, not least of which are defence connections, but also economically. And your words today about Masdar and Tribe's joint venture and the capacity for turning waste into energy, I think is only at the very beginning of the relationship that Masdar and Tribe will have across Australia. We're very excited to hear the new announcement that you've made today. And with that, we'd like to ask Tribe, Peter McCreanor, if he would like to make some remarks about the joint venture as well.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Your Excellency Abdulla Subousi, ladies and gentlemen, particularly those joining us virtually, and I know there's a number of people joining us virtually outside of those that are in the room today, so we welcome you all. I'd like to start by echoing Mohamed's comments that at Tribe we're thrilled with today's signing. The opportunity for our new partnership is tremendous, both in terms of investment scale and environmental impact. In Australia, we currently put 27 million tonnes of waste into landfill annually. That's the equivalent of over 75 Olympic swimming pools full of waste every day. There is a huge opportunity to do way better. Our development partnership with Masdar focuses on the delivery of world-class infrastructure projects for dealing with residual waste. That is waste that cannot be recycled or reprocessed. Through the use of best available technologies, we will convert waste into clean energy and produce sustainable building materials, making a valuable contribution to the circular economy. We recognise waste to energy is not the panacea to all waste generation problems, but a very important tool in the waste sector, alongside efforts to reduce and recycle, focusing on better outcomes in the waste hierarchy. Today's signing marks an exciting advancement of our working relationship with Masdar, a journey we started almost 5 years ago, where Masdar invited our firm, Tribe Infrastructure Group, to advise on its first waste-to-energy project here in Sharjah, in the UAE. As many as you would have seen in Masdar this year, and as Mohamed mentioned earlier, Masdar reciprocated by entering our own $511 million East Rockingham waste-to-energy project in Western Australia as a cornerstone equity investor. Those two projects alone divert over 500,000 tonnes of waste away from landfill every year, providing clean energy to over 70,000 homes. Our joint investment entities for the East Rockingham project are set up right here in Abu Dhabi, at the Abu Dhabi Global Market, an international financial centre that we've proudly called home since early 2016. We recently announced our joint venture into the Maryvale project in Victoria as a co-developer and as an equity partner, and today we commit our future Australian pipeline to be developed in partnership with Masdar. I was asked to say a few words on what Masdar brings to the partnership, and it would be remiss of me if I did not speak about the Masdar muscles. Mohamed is constantly reminding me that we should be using them. Masdar is a sustainability champion, with a world-leading reputation for aggressively driving reduction in project costs, making clean energy affordable for all. Masdar is a patient investor for the long term, not afraid to tackle difficult and complex projects. And above all, Masdar operates with partnership empathy, something we hold as a core value. That's the kind of organisation we're thrilled to have as a partner. Whether you are charging your electric vehicle in London through a local charging station fed from a wind farm in the Thames estuary, you're air conditioning your villa in Tashkent, or you're drawing power from a remote island in the Caribbean, it's highly probable that your clean energy is being generated by a Masdar project. Our ambition is to do the same in Australia through multiple projects focused on waste to energy conversion. To Mohamed and your team, we thank you. We take your confidence in our business with humility and responsibility. Above all, we look forward to delivering some world-class projects with you down under. To our development team in Australia, to Ed and Andrew there in Sydney, a huge congratulations. This is an incredibly well-deserved moment. Finally, I'd like to congratulate the Australia UAE Business Council on their inauguration event that follows this signing, particularly our co-chairs, Christopher Pyne and Badr Al-Alama, for the great effort and energy that they've put in to establish the Council. I'd like to acknowledge the great support received from His Excellency Abdulla Al-Subousi, UAE Ambassador to Australia. We look forward to participating as an active member of the Council in the years to come and share the Council's vision of innovative deal-making and collaboration between our two great countries. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. That's terrific. And thank you to Masdar and to Tribe for being early joiners of the Australia UAE Business Council. About a month ago, we had about 4 members. We've now got about 13. And we are not aiming for a wide membership of hundreds of members. We're only looking for companies and to take part. And so we're delighted with the amazing development of the Council in such a short space of time. And I'd like to thank His Excellency because without his enthusiasm for the project and without Badr's enthusiasm and him bringing his team behind it, we wouldn't have made such progress so quickly, particularly at a time with the coronavirus where we haven't been able to do half of the things that we'd like to have done. Next year, we're very much hoping to get to the Expo and see you all in the flesh at the Australian Pavilion, which is the Minister for Defence I committed us to before I realised quite how expensive it was, but nevertheless that's all water under the bridge. And with that, we might ask our signees to sign the certificates. So the certificates in the UAE as well as here. Right, how would you like to do that, Casey?
Shall they sign first? And
Would you like to sign the certificates? You have to swap, don't have to swap. Right, and you want us to do the same here? Right. I don't know about that. You're making me feel like I need to loop my C's. Lovely. Thank you. I think the idea of tribe in Australia and one on the wall at Masdar in the UAE and one at the embassy in Canberra and one in the offices of the Australian UAE Business Council. What are we going to do with the fifth one?
what's the joint venture?
Yeah, in Sydney.
In Sydney. Excellent.
Do you want to hold up yours?
Yes. It was holding these up. There you go.
Yep.
We're all signed and ready to go. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your support. And congratulations to all of us.